This is Don J.
And your vet, Renee.
And this is Redemption Hospital. Sometimes you got to recognize that you're the reason for your own failures.
And that dream partner you want is only attainable if you fix your mindset.
We've both had failures and heartbreak that drove us close to desperation.
But with prayer and education, we found each other and knew that this was what God destined for our lives.
Our job is to teach you the fundamentals to becoming a great partner so you can lay down a foundation for that person that you really want in your life. After all, we believe that if God was through with you, he would have called you home by now.
So sit back and enjoy some laughs, inspiration, and education on Redemption Hospital. On the dot, I'm in my drop top, cruising the street.
Sorry, sis.
I got a real pretty little thing that's waiting for me. I pull up, anticipating good love. Don't keep me waiting. I got plans to put my hands in places I never seen. Girl, you know what I mean. Let me take you to a place with some quiet. There ain't no one to get to them. Ain't gotta rush. I just wanna take it nice and slow. See, I've been waiting for this for so long. Making love until the sun comes up. Man, I just wanna take it nice and slow.
Fade it out like gospel. We are ready to start this show.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Don J. and
Your vet, Renee.
And this is Redemption Hospital, as the intro has already stated.
Yes.
And we got something for you guys. I think that men in general have fallen into a abyss of weakness. I'm going to tell this story. These people are my family still, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling this story because it pissed me off because it was hot as hell outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget it.
Okay.
So we have different sectors of men, right? I always say when it comes down to men, we are not in a perfect place where we can afford to have many men be on the softer side.
True.
And if you choose to be gay, that does not mean you have to be on the softer side. Can't tell you what to do.
This is true.
I'm telling you right now, we see all these other countries, we see all these other people who are gearing up for war. And I have no problem, clearly, with any man being gay. But I do think as a man, you should strive for strength, should strive for knowledge, you should strive to learn how to fight.
Yeah.
Because in life in general, you got to look at it as if someone went against me and their idea or their job was to kill me, would I make the cut?
Would you be able to defend yourself?
Would you be able to defend yourself? Now here's story time. So, man, I was out there and I was leaving church. And again, these people are my family. So I'm telling this as funny as I can. I will see them and I'll have laughter and jokes. And they're probably going to be like, man, why are you telling this story? Because. So I left church and I was ready to get Panda Express, as you know, my usual. And this lady's car broke down. Right? Car broke down. And what happened was she hit a pot, or she hit the curb. And it ripped a hole in her tire instantly. About this big. Hole in her tire. And so the part that really tripped me up was, you know how I am. I like to help.
Yes.
But you know that chicken was on my mind.
Greedy.
Oh, man. I was ready. Give me a whole thing of teriyaki, some other stuff. It would have sufficed, guys. It would have been great. But that was on my mind. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it because I had to have to change the tire. With that being said, I had to reach in my car, and unbeknownst to me, I didn't have a jack. full jack. So one of the guys came that weren't necessarily in the strong aura, the strong masculine aura. And he brings his jack, and I say, okay, I'll jack this car up, cool. But in my mind also, I'm thinking, well, it's your jack, you jack her car.
Yeah.
She's not supposed to do it, she's a lady.
Yeah.
Did that happen? No. So there were about 4 of us outside, her, 2 guys, another minister. I think that was it. Yeah, no, maybe 4 or 5. Can't remember because it was so damn hot. Anyway, I'm the only one that actually jacked this car up, and I'm sitting here like, bro, it was hot. Imagine like this thing took like an hour because it's not the jack that you can yank, yank, yank.
It's
I'm
the one
talking.
you
gotta swivel. And here's the craziest part: her car was on the ground, like it was almost on the ground. So you couldn't swivel it in a circle. It went about a quarter of a circle. You had to pull it out. Quarter of a circle, pull it out. So this took like an hour and some change. And in my mind, the whole time they're having conversations, they're on the phone. I'm just like, man, you ain't gonna get down here and help me or do something? Try to lift the car, do something. God dang, bro. Like, I want to hear on my hands and knees. I need these knees for next Sunday, man. You like it when, I can't put oil in them as the pedals go left and right. But I'm like, man. And again, this is not an attacking thing for many men. But I do think that men should become men. Like I said, your decision is your decision. Right? Now, I don't know who is straight, who's gay, who's soft, who's strong, whatever in the case. But outside and outward appearance is amazing. If you can't make someone think that, or if you don't know that you're tough, you can make someone think you're tough.
Yeah.
Not in the sense where you're going to be brawler, but in the sense where you're really silent. You can joke, you can laugh, you can play. But if frustration hits and you're really silent, then you know. But also you have to have the masculine aura. So I say all that to say, it's very imperative for us men to know and understand. You're valued, bro. Like, you're valued. Your masculine energy, I know everything is against you. I just watched a clip today of Pearl saying, like, pretty much women are in control of laws and all this other stuff. You couldn't do life without a man. You just couldn't. And yes, a woman could come back later, and 10 years later, and be like, "Oh, he raped me," and this, and they'll believe him. A woman could ruin your name based off of a word, no evidence, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or she can try. The Holy Ghost will smack that thing down. Anyway, but I don't believe that means that you, as a man, have to just devalue yourself. Like, at what point do you say, "Well, life is so hard, might as well become a woman"? Like, I'm being honest. If it's for you and you want to do it, and that's something you wanted to do for a long time, cool. But if your motive is, well, kind of sucks being a man, might as well go on the other side. Like, where's the perseverance? That's what we do. We strive. We strengthen ourselves to fight, to go further. We don't give up.
Okay, but what if it is not that they don't know how to be a man? A lot of men are not being raised to be men. I think we had the discussion the other day about women, because, single parent households are mostly run by women, right? So women are raising their sons to like girls. They're not, we all know that there's only so much, how much a woman can raise a man anyway. But most women are raising their sons the same way they're raising their daughters. So they're not teaching them or putting somebody in their lives that can teach them how to change a tire or what it means to be a man or how to defend yourself or how to be proactive in the ways of, you see a woman on the side of the road broke down, you stop and help her change her tire. Not all the time, people crazy. But you know what I mean? Like, a lot of men are not being raised to be men anymore. So who's really to blame here? Once you get an adult, you don't have an excuse anymore. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But the foundation is already there. Men are not being raised to be men. They're being raised the same as women are being raised. And in some cases, these days, with how much hurt and trauma we have going on, the women are being raised to be men because women are hurt and they're saying, "Oh, well, you don't need a man to do this and you don't need a man to do that. So you change your own tire and you pay your own bills and you do this and you do that." We live in a backward society.
We are. What do you think? Let me ask it to you this way. If you and your sister got into a fight
Mm-hmm.
and you knew there was some superiority in the house,
Mm-hmm.
right? She did something, you was play fighting, and she slapped you clean across your face.
Mm-hmm.
You said, "Oh, I'm gonna."
Tell mama.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what was mama in the house?
Disciplinarian.
Yes. She was the enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
And if mama had to escalate that thing to daddy,
Mm-hmm.
he was the enforcer.
Yeah.
Here's the problem in our society. There is no daddy enforcer. And so when you get away with whatever you want to get away with because of who the leader is, let me tell you something. Full transparency. If you told me I can get in a relationship with a woman and go ahead and divorce her, I cheated on her, I would divorce her and I'll get half just because we're trying to keep the family standards or really just dig into your pocket. Oh, man, listen, if I wasn't a Christian man and I had outs and a bad heart, why wouldn't I take advantage of that? Mm-hmm. And then marry the next person and then marry the next, why wouldn't I take advantage of that? Because mama, which is the government law, mama said I can do it. Mm-hmm. So everything trickles down from the government law. Everything that you've done as a child trickles down. You knew what you can get away with. You are a grown woman now. Mm-hmm. And you know good and damn well, the very first thing on your mind, like, well, I ain't trying to sleep with 10 guys because, you know, my mama find out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it goes back to that higher power. If the laws kept women and men accountable, then you'd know it trickled down. The only reason you don't murder somebody you really don't like is because God said don't do it because you'll get in trouble. Yeah. If they told you that you'll only get 2 years for murdering somebody, you probably do it. Mm-hmm. Like 2 years is the maximum. You're like, you know what? Murder on my record's not that bad. He stole $100,000 from me. You know what? All right, guys, let's go. Let me go get my rope. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Excuse me if that sounds dark, but it's what mama law says. So if a guy is raised by women, like this was back in the 60s. Correct me, any listener that's on listening. This was back in the 60s. We highly expedited, like when women said, we want this right, we want this. It was like, compared to now, it didn't happen in the 60s and now to 2024. Nah, bro. Yeah. So it's like, as soon as people caught on, that's as soon as it started happening. And then you started to see families dwindle. When I was in school, it was kind of weird. Because even when I was in school, you had kids that were like, oh yeah, you know, my mom and dad aren't together. And I'm like, I don't know what that looks like. Yeah. Like, I don't, like, you know what I mean? Now, if everybody knows, right? You say, oh yeah, it's a given. And you say your parents together, they're like, what? What they doing? He must be cheating. She must be cheating. You know what I'm saying? But the standard was set a long time ago. And once somebody sets the standard, somebody like, oh, this is what we doing? Think about it. If you were in a room full of people, 60 people, and one guy left a briefcase, $5 million in it, right? Briefcase, $5 million. And one person goes, he said, hey, watch this for me real quick. This is nobody's money, but we're just watch this for me. I had to, you know, bring this in and I just found it, but just watch this. You in your mind are going to be like, I ain't touching that. I don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But one person goes and they like, start stashing some of that money. Then you're like, I'm nope. Second person goes. Mm-hmm. It's about the 13th, 14th, or 15th person that comes in that room and starts stashing that money. And you're just like, well, it's been 2 minutes. Ain't nothing happened. You know, ain't no cameras, nothing. And then you get your money. Yeah. So you're only going to do what you're allowed and permitted to do. And the problem is, by the time a guy grows up, and this is the hardest part, when you go through heartbreak, you're just shedding weakness. Mm-hmm. When you cry, you're shedding weakness as a man, right? You're going through heartbreak. You're just shedding mentalities. Like, listen to what I just said. When you go through heartbreak, you're shedding mentalities. Seriously. All that stuff, when I went through heartbreak, all that stuff, hold the door for a woman, do this for a woman, do this for a woman. Make sure she's this, make sure she's fit, make sure you do this, make sure you do this. So you do all this stuff as a man for a woman who doesn't appreciate it, and you keep doing it because they told you to do it. They didn't tell you to do it for a specific type of woman. They just told you to do it for any woman. So now you're doing this, and you got the 304 that's there, and she's going to go, and she's going to sleep, and she's going to do this. And now you're shedding the mentality like, dang, bro, like, I can't believe that I gave this woman everything I had. I can't believe that I gave her this stuff. So I can't believe that I gave her all of this stuff. And she still can go and do what she wants to do. And I'm like, yo, why is this not working? Because they didn't tell me to fend for myself and figure out what type of woman would deserve this. So now you go full circle. These men nowadays, they give and they don't have the mentality, for instance, that I have now. I'm a good guy, not a nice guy. If you ask me for something and I don't feel like giving it to you, you ain't getting. That doesn't mean I'm a good guy. That means I can't afford to give it to you. I use Modern Warfare for example. We play the zombies game. We talked about this before. When somebody says, bro, I lost my tombstone, can you please spot me with some money? I have 9999999, right? I have that. You think I'm gonna spot you the whole thing?
Yeah.
Because if I'm sitting in the same spot and you're like, "Hi, I see a sucker," who can I be mad at? Me.
Yeah.
I could have gave you $200,000. I would have kept 800, and I'll say, "Bro, go find you a friend. You die, then he revives you, then he dies, or whatever the case is. Y'all duplicate that money. Go back and forth, duplicate the money." You get what I'm saying? Give you a tool, and this is what guys are not doing. They get older, and I'm getting my point. Guys get older, and they realize, okay, now I can only give what I can afford. So now if you go on a date and a woman says, oh, you this, and you try to manipulate me with the Cheesecake Factory, and I'm like, don't go over $50. Like, oh, you this, you this, you this, you. And I could even go over 150. I'm like, I'm going over 150. Well, why you can't pay for that? I don't know you. This is the first date, and I really don't care. I said, don't go over 150. And I would expect you to do the same thing for me. Yeah. Hey, I'm taking care of your date. Please don't go over 45. Cool, I ain't going over 45. I don't have any rights to you. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But guys aren't taught this. So now you have combining the laws that changed, excuse me if I'm wrong, around the 60s or so, to now. So now the roles are reversed. You're right. They have reversed, but here's the issue. If you want to reverse them back, you got to start with the laws. And no one's going to do that because what type of country is this? Money. So if you make money off of child support, you make money off of alimony, they will find any excuse to make money off of you. And if they can do that, why would they change the system? Why would they? Think about it. And that's I'm gonna let you talk because I can go on forever. Think about it. All these industries work together. And people might say, what? All these industries work together. If you look at somewhere like Canada, right? One of my friends is Canadian. She was like a pack of Oreos, for 3 pack of Oreos, like 10 or 15 bucks, something like that, depending on where you go. Right? Vegetables, way cheaper. They live a different lifestyle. Here, everything is predicated on the mental health. Everything. So a therapist, a psychotherapist, right? Life coaches, us, other people in those sectors, right? Judges, lawyers, doctors, everybody. Everyone's job security is on maintaining the stress of people. And who can help maintain the stress of people? The food and drug industries. Because if they can provide you with food and all these different things that trigger your brain, like, ooh, that tastes good. It's called happy weight because it's distracted weight. Yeah. If you had a plan from Monday to Saturday, says, I'm not going to do this, which is hard, no judgment, then you'd go forth and say, okay, I'm not going to do this. But because you can't stick to your plan, which is because you have those chemicals going inside your brain consistently, God bless the people that eat McDonald's at least 3 times a week, then you are almost doomed. You're going to be sad. Go to the therapist. Yeah. You're going to be overweight. Go to the doctor. You're going to need somebody to tell you what to do in life. You see a person like me or like anybody else, like, oh, they just bought a Beamer. I want to figure out how they got that. Hey, guys, I bought this Mercedes cash. You want to figure out how to, now you want to come to me. You want to figure out how to get your life together. And now you got a relationship. You got a relationship. You think that person's going to help for whatever reason you got bored or whatever case that person cheated, whatever happened. Now you go to court. Everything is factored on your mental health. This is why people can't stand people who can just be peaceful within themselves. One of the hardest things I ever had to do was be by myself. Yeah. But it was so rewarding because it triggered me to be like, I don't care what you have. I don't care. People will come around me and I will have certain conversations with people and they had well over money and crazy amounts of experience and all this stuff. And they would come to me and they would never call me back for a gig. They would never call me back to do stuff because I was so at peace with myself that I can give a shit about their money. I can give about nothing. Yeah. I'm not kissing your butt like everybody else. I'm not begging for a gig because I can go home and be happy. Well, you probably are not happy even though you got all these shows. No shade, no none of that. But people don't like people like that because you're now living outside, I guess, what they call the matrix. And you're just living a godly life. There's nothing wrong with having the peace that surpasses all understanding. We preach about it, but we really don't want it. Because we are on social media. I'll go on social media every now and then, guys. I'll see a funny video, but it makes me mad when I see somebody who shows success. It pisses me off because I know not that I could be in their spot, but it pisses me off because I look at it, I'm like, look at their success. And instantly two things, I'm like, okay, that's the one thing they showed out of their life that went right. But also now I'm comparing it to what I'm doing. And that's why I stay off social media. I'm going to be honest. I'll look at somebody and be like, man, look at my peer. He's doing great. But there's times where that thing pisses me off because I'm like, you're doing great, but I'm just sitting here kind of BSing my time. I'm just not really doing much, or I'm not doing what I said I was going to do. Whether it was doing this podcast, whether it was helping heal somebody heal with, my kind words, whatever it was, playing a song, whatever it was, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But I can go on a tangent, man.
So basically, you're saying that we are doomed as a humanity because of the government. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
So I agree with you, but I think a lot of it also has to do with parents. Because if you raise your child, male or female, to the best of your ability, right? Because when they get grown, they have free will, so they can go either way. But if you raise them to have respect, men to be men, women to be women, and you raise them to the best of your ability, their hearts are going to be different. I feel like when we're becoming parents, we're not shedding our traumas, we're not shedding our hurt, so we're transferring all of that to our children, and therefore they're holding on to trauma and hurt before they even have a chance to experience their own trauma and hurt. They're acting out in ways that they can't explain. They just know it's in them to do, and now we're just in this cycle of hurt and trauma.
Yeah, that makes sense. Give me an example.
An example would be a single mother raising a girl, and she's mad and bitter because a man did A, B, C, D, F, G to her. So her mentality now is, I'm independent, I don't need a man, I'm good. And she's going to raise that little girl to have that same mentality. So that little girl is going to be raised thinking that she doesn't need a man. She doesn't need their guidance. She doesn't need their leadership. They're no good. They're this and they're that. And she's not going to have any respect for a man. And by the time she gets old enough to date, she's going to end up with some man. She's not going to show him any respect. She's not going to listen to his provisions. It could be the best man in the world, but it's not going to matter because it's already programmed in her brain that she don't need a man for anything. Now, mind you, I wholeheartedly agree that women can be absolutely successful on their own, but it's a limit to it. God did not make us to be alone. So whether you're male or female, there's always going to be a limit to what you can do if you don't have a good partner by your side. I wholeheartedly believe that. So even though they may be correct in thinking, hey, I don't need a man, you don't up until a certain point. But once you get to that point, you're going to have to know how to be with a man, how to respect a man, how to allow the man to be a man.
Sheesh. Man, that makes sense. One of my first serious relationships, marriages actually, her mom was an angel, like an absolute angel. She was angry. And in my mind, I'm like, well, you're really spawns of your parents. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't figure out why she was so angry. And I remember one day she said something like, you can't come against me because I got to clap back for everything. I want you to open your mouth because I got something. I promise you, it don't matter who it is. I'm sitting like, that's what you pride yourself on? And of course, I know as a kid, the reason why I didn't go off, unless somebody really, really pissed me off, and I would like be angry and just start, I just want to beat this nigga up, because I didn't want to, because I didn't, it'd be bad. But I never wanted to pop off at somebody if I never had any intentions. No. So when I saw people do that, I'm like, somebody picked on you or did something to you or you're a child, and you just really do anything about it. Because in most like bullying situations as of now, I'm more so like, cool, bro, come on, let's do it. No, you want to fight? Come on, let's fight. Yeah. It'll be fine. I haven't fought in like 5 years. Come on, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But people who are scared or been bullied or anything like that is like, and so that was what she was doing. And what I've learned is, after the fact, right? I didn't really listen to those like quote unquote red pill uncles.
Yeah.
But if she can't treat her daddy right, she ain't gonna never treat you right.
Mm-mm.
So people say, like, well, she's this way because she ain't got no dad. No, she's that way because she chose to be that way.
Yeah.
Her father gave her instruction. Her father was a pastor. May not have been perfect, but he gave her instruction.
Yeah.
But people, your child might rebel. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, with all the anger that was there and everything that was festering, I'm like, there's no way that you can ever choose to be happy from within and that lead your life. Now, with that being said, that's the point. A woman has to learn how to be that. And in a submissive situation, submissive nature, it was her job to learn how to listen to what her father had to say. And she never did that. And that, I think, is what caused a lot of turmoil, because it's like, now she's learned that anger and she wants to use that anger in every situation.
Yeah.
Now, when something's not going your way, you want to be angry. But even on a further note, when you're afraid and you're about to lose something or lose your man or lose somebody else, now you want to do the same thing. It's rehearsal.
Yeah.
You rehearsed what it worked for somebody in your past. And when they finally gave up, you needed a new sucker to unleash your baggage and all that stuff on. And you use it in a fearful situation just as much as you use it in a comfortable situation. I'm comfortable, you're going to do what I want to say or do what I want to do, and I'm going to be angry. More importantly, now you get to the point where I'm afraid that you're going to go, and I'm still going, oh, you think you're better? Why you got to do blah, 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 you know what to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at some point in life, you have to realize it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You got to sit down.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Not shut up. I don't think women understand how it makes you look. To them, it's normal, it's everyday, this is me, this is my attitude. But they don't understand how unattractive it is. They don't understand how detrimental it is to yourself, your mental health, your children, because they're seeing that every day. So they're going to learn it, then they're going to repeat it. I don't think they understand that aspect. Like, I can't imagine waking up every day and just being angry.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being that hurt in life. Now, we all have hurt. We all have issues or situations that we've been angry in. But to carry around that hurt and apply it to every single situation, that's tiring.
Yeah.
I will wake up tired. Because who has the energy to do that? I don't.
Yeah.
It's so much simpler to choose happiness. And I don't understand why some people don't get that.
Yeah.
Happiness is so peaceful. Life is not going to be perfect. Of course not. You could be going through the trenches. But choosing happiness is a choice. You don't just wake up and you're automatically happy. You have to choose to be happy.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that concept. You're miserable because you made the choice to be miserable. If you want to be happy, make that choice. If you don't know how, go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Or at the end of the day, at least talk to God. God can give you peace that you'll never understand where it came from, how it came, or anything like that. It's a choice. You choose.
You do. You know, I was listening to a podcast at Milet, and he said something that was very amazing. He said, you don't feel depressed. You do depression.
Mm-hmm.
He said the same, I think it was endorphins or something. I have to look at it. Don't quote me. But the same feeling, if you were to exercise, your body has the same response as if you were having sex. Because it's a motion, right?
Yeah.
You can't be depressed like, oh, or be angry, oh, and that's it, oh, well, it's me. And then, no, while you're in the gym, you're crunching, you're running and stuff, that stuff converts, especially anger, it converts. Right? There was a guy I was watching, and he was doing leg presses, right? And he was doing the leg presses, he was like, right? Pushing as much weight as he can, just going like angry. Now, me looking at it, I'm like, you probably shouldn't do that. That's not how you do it. You channel your anger. You don't transition your anger. And he didn't do that. So what happened was he kept doing that leg press, and before you know it, his knee snapped backwards. And so his leg looked like Nico's.
But leave my baby alone.
I'm just saying, you know, dogs' legs be like stork legs. His leg looked just like that. Oh, it's over. But you can't do that in a state that you're in. And also, I think what's going on with a lot of angry women is they have something that they think no one else sees, right? As a praying man, and I could pray more, but as a praying man, I ask things to be revealed. My discernment, y'all, is not on the level of Anne's. Anne could see a bee in her sleep, and like, yeah, all's bad, all's bad, bro.
It is bad.
But it's to the point where I can understand spirits and I can see spirits and stuff like that. So much so I pray. So even some men that I was gonna make friends with, some women that I was gonna, get involved with, God be like, yo. And then sometimes God wouldn't even say nothing. I'll just be
Yeah.
So there's some women that I know personally that they just hold this spirit of anger. And they think that everything is okay. And they do a well job of masking it. But when I see them, it's like, man, I just like pray for them. Like, do you know what happiness feels like?
Yeah.
Like, do you honestly know what happiness feels like? And here's the biggest portion. Remember we talked about the whole, court systems and Food and Drug Administration, all that stuff. Not attacking those systems. I can't change much from where I'm sitting. Nor do I want to. I want people to change their mindset, not to change your systems. But now you add on debt to that.
Yeah.
And you figure, in a place where we are, right? For people that know, we had a car, and I did a video about it some time ago. And I had that car. And what happened with that car was, I thought that somebody paid the note off on November 18th. Apparently, the guy just never gave the title to the people. He was just banking out cars to people. He would sell the title. He would sell the car and sell the title. And so he was making out doing that. And we struggled, man, for months. We struggled for months, just like trying to get legit. Got pulled over, I swear, at least maybe 17 times, literally. You know what I mean? And it just was like a bad situation. But after all and all through and through, we got registered, and it cost us a good deal of money to get registered because we had to pay his fees. But after that was said and done, man, a good lesson was formed out of it. I asked God in the beginning of the year to change my mindset about money. I bought a wallet. Right? Remember that wallet I bought? And I said, with this wallet, I'm praying over this wallet that every time I look at this, it makes me want to change my thought process and how I do money. Yeah. And I did. And that was one of the biggest blessings because all throughout the beginning of the year, I'm like, oh, we need another car. We need to figure this out. We need another car. We need a car. And I'm saying, like, man, I got to get this. I'm like, we're going to get this Audi. So we're going to get this Tesla. It is what it is. And I'm sitting here like, we got that car fixed, right? I can get the brakes fixed. I can do other things to it. We got it fixed and situated. And even in that, like, I find happiness in the fact that I don't owe nobody money. You know what I mean? And what reduced my happiness and actually caused anger in me was now owing people money. Doing that recording, I'm like, dang, bro. You know what I mean? Got this equipment that I bought because I'm like, yo, I want to do this recording. I got something good on my mind. And that's a small degree. I can't imagine to a big degree. And I'm getting what I'm getting to. I can't imagine it being a big degree and it being like a house. Yeah. Or a $90,000 car note that I can't give back because on my credit is going to go something and I still want to use credit instead of just actually doing it the hard way. And so now I ask myself, for some of these ladies, you know them in my life, you've seen them, and I've conversed with you. I ask, like, yo, when I see you, I see it on you and I see the spirit and I'm like, do you not want happiness? Do you not want freedom? Do you not know what this feels like? And if so, do you want me to show you? You know what I mean? And last thing I'll say, Jim Carrey said something that was amazing. He said, if you're not willing to downgrade your life for 1 year, you're not willing to be successful. And most people won't do that. You can have this car. You can have, guys, I'm telling you, let the winter, the springtime is coming up. Springtime is coming up and the springtime is coming up and summer is coming up. Man, the time to just stand outside, spend time with yourself, spend time with God, man, listen. That's amazing to me. I would take a peaceful day of the wind blowing versus one day that I made 60 grand in one day and I was stressed. That day that I have the wind blowing, give me 60 of those and see how long I live. Give me that stressful day over and over 60 days and see how long I live. People don't understand the best currency is life.
This is true.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
You knew it was coming.
Oh, no.
A woman who is scarred by a previous, I'm not going to say lover, I'm going to say relationship. She does have debt. She hasn't seen happiness. She has kids now. and she does not make a great amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
She sees you and she's inspired by you. What's the first step you tell her in order to start the process? Because clearly she's going to have to be coached by you. It's going to take some time.
Yeah.
Quite a few things is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing you're going to tell her as a life coach?
The first thing she's going to have to do is change her mindset. I can talk to you and teach you 1,005 things. If you don't change your mindset about how you look at life, about how you look at your past trauma, about how you look at your hurt, about your past relationship, all of that. If you don't look at that differently than how you've been looking at it, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter at all. You have to have the mindset of, I want to be better. I want to be happy. I went through this hurt. What did I do to aid in me being hurt? What did I do? How I could have got out of the situation sooner. I knew this man wasn't no good when I was with him, but I still stayed. I was the one that cheated. Whatever the case may be, you have to look at everything that's happened and not, oh, this person did this to me and this person did this to me. But what did you do? How did you aid in everything that happened? It's a mindset. So the very first thing would be, gotta get that mindset where it needs to be. Yeah. And that is very hard because people are stuck in their ways, especially grown people. But it's the only way to start.
Yeah. We just had this conversation today where I said, people think that when they get cheated on, per se, that it's a you. What I've learned in my life is this. For one, many people cannot understand the longevity of a relationship. But at the same time, for my life personally, people enjoy a great atmosphere and they don't remember how you look. They don't remember what your car looks like. They don't remember how much money you make. They remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And with that being said, people go where they feel better.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, not all, a lot of times I sit in the back, but there are some times I'll say, well, I can't be the life of the party. And the reason being is I know that the people that I'm surrounded with, I want to make them feel good. With that being said, having a conversation, a lot of people have this cheating notion like, it's you. And it's like, well, were you a great person?
Exactly.
And I'm not saying great, like, were you a great person? Like, did you read your Bible? Did you take out the trash? Did you feed the kids? Did you talk to them? I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, are you boring?
Yeah.
If we weren't budgeting and we had a good, decent amount of money, we just gonna sit here or we gonna go do something?
Yeah.
Can you surprise me? Can you give me some food? Buy me a dress. Go do this. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's all about money, but can you make something out of what your situation is? I don't need Anne to do a bunch of stuff for me. I don't. But what she does, even if it's an increment, so like she'll do something amazing, like maybe once a month. She probably don't even know it. She'll do something amazing like once a month. And because it came from her heart, nobody told her to do it. She came up with it. That's the type of stuff that makes people stay consistently. If any time any person came to me and was like, hey man, you know, don't you like this dress I got on? No, I don't like that dress I got on. You got on. You know why? Because it didn't compare to the blue lights that she gave me. So it didn't compare to the Valentine's Day I had. It didn't compare to our 10th year anniversary. You know what I'm saying? So when it really comes down to life, you have to understand a lot of times, and this is something I'm going to teach you guys and gals, it's like, yo, you're not amazing enough. Yeah. Like, for real. And you think that getting into a relationship is going to make you this almighty being, but think about it. In any atmosphere you are, use comedy as an example. You never had any pain, you never had any scars, none of that stuff. You can tell a great knock-knock joke, but you're going to stand in front of a crowd of people who paid $15 to get in the door and think that you're just going to win their money. You're not skilled enough. So you get into a relationship and you think that, oh, well, you're not going to cheat on me because I said I love you. That's not how it works.
It's not.
It's not. It's not. And many times it is not your fault. It's not you. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes, like 90% of the time, they ask for something. You just don't want to give it. Yeah. And we fear in relationships like, well, you know, I'm not going to give that because I'm afraid. And then you lose out on what you had But the reality is, if you gave it, it was a slight chance, a big chance that you wouldn't have lost it. However, if the situation wasn't right and didn't present itself, you wouldn't give it no way. Which that's not wrong, but it's wrong to expect somebody to give you 100 and you're only giving 60 and you know good and damn well you're giving 60. More importantly, you know good and damn well, I ain't gonna be with you. So that's why I learned to not get so heartbroken about stuff like, oh, she cheated. Oh, I'm spending nights crying, right? Wasted emotions we talk about. Oh my God, I can't believe this. My Jesus. Oh God. My life. We say, why have you forsaken me? And in my mind, I'm like, man, God ain't called this relationship. And more importantly, you knew this was gonna happen anyway. Yeah. You saw the signs back then. You just try to ignore them, thought you was Jesus. That's what happened. Yeah. And you ain't. And the reality is, soft men, hard women, the biggest clash is gonna be men who don't want to lead, women who do. Now, here's the thing. If a woman's making, and I said this before, if a woman's making a lot of money, in my opinion, that's masculine energy. If she is out here with a banging car, Porsche, Mercedes, that's masculine energy. Because here's the thing. Back in the day, when you drove something like that, the first thing was, girl, what your man do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now, think about it. When a woman pulls up with a Mercedes, there's not a guy that said, there's not one guy, not even the simps go up and be like, ooh, this is nice. I want to ride. And then, oh my gosh, as a man, even a simp, as a man, it make you feel some type of way. Yeah. It's like, oh, I can't do this. And you try to avoid her. And that's why simps go after broke chicks who are hard. Because if you go after broke chicks who are hard, she's not showing that much masculine energy, but she got enough for me to remind me of my mama. My mama was poor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think, in a sense, and it's not to bash or anything like that. I said this before, like, yo, if you're driving a Porsche and you want an amazing man, go sell that thing. Go get your Honda. Like, for real. The idea is you want a man to come rescue you. He doesn't have to know that you're well off. He doesn't have to know. All he needs to know is you got the smarts. If you have it and you show some humility to go buy something simple, he knows you still have the brain power to help y'all's business become amazing. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? And left her job. I know she's brilliant because she had success. Now, she wasn't going above and beyond. I know good and damn well at some point she could afford a Porsche. It was not that expensive, but for what it stands for. You know what I mean? She could have got a Porsche for 50 grand and would have afforded it easily. But it's what it stands for. What are you trying to prove to somebody? What are you trying to prove to yourself? But you want an amazing relationship. We can't keep reversing these roles back and forth. The soft man and the hard woman. And for some people that might work until it doesn't anymore. Yeah. It's like the controller, right? You got a controller. I use Gears of War, for example. When you remember I used to chainsaw battle? And two guys go zzz, and y'all fighting. Yeah. You got to press the button. That's what it is with a man and a woman. For a woman and a man, listen to me. It's like going through a chainsaw battle. Somebody has to win. You're pressing that B button. What you don't see is the lever going like this. It's going like this. And this is the other person. This is you. So it's going like this. Beep, 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 beep. And somebody got to win. Somebody got to lose. And what that signifies, what I'm getting at is your feminine nature eventually is going to give up. I've seen it. I've seen women that's like, they were making like $600K. And they get to like 45 years old. They're like, I'll take a man that can rescue me. Right. I don't care if he make $45,000. I can't do this no more. And vice versa. You'll see a guy who hits like 45, like, I can't do this job no more, man. I'm only making 45K, man. Something got to give. That man will quit his job with no plans to move in with his parents, to make a plan, to build himself up to $5 million the next 3 years. Because it doesn't work. We can try all we want. It just doesn't work. We're going against the grain. It's like brushing a beard. It's like brushing my beard this way. So every time you see me looking like my beard is smiling, like, come on.
But it goes back to, that's not how, unfortunately, that's just not how we're being raised anymore. We're not being raised with those traditional values of a man is this and then a woman is that. These days we're all about equality. And equality is great, right? To a certain extent. Yeah. But there's still an order, which is man, woman. But women want to be on the same playing field as a man.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. I don't want to be on the same playing field as a man. Make the money. I back you up. I'm your helpmate. We're going to be great together. But I don't want that responsibility on me. I wasn't made to have it on me.
Yeah.
Have it. I'm not going to fight you for it. What I want it for.
Yeah.
I look stupid up here trying to fight you over, and you trying to provide for me and take care of me and have provisions for me in my life, and you're trying to make us have this better life, and I'm gonna fight you for it. Like, no, well, I can go out here and make the money. I can go out. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
And it's funny.
I don't want it.
Nah, it's funny. I love that, and I cherish this woman greatly. But you say that, and the reality is, we're fighting the wrong battle. Mm-hmm. We're fighting for equality per se, but the reality is, we're fighting for importance.
Yeah.
You don't want equality, you want importance,
mm-hmm.
and it's evident. The laws change for everyone to be married. The laws change for women to be empowered. The laws change for women to vote. The laws change for blacks to vote. The laws change for more Hispanics to come to the country. The laws change. Mm-hmm. And yet we want these outcomes. That's what we want. We want outcomes. If I said, you are not allowed to sleep in my house at all, you'd come here, you'd leave. You come here, you leave. I really like this man. I come here, leave. Right? Your drive was 2 hours. You come here, you leave. Come here, you leave. Literally 2 hours. Her drive was 2 hours. And you would come here and leave. And then if I said, because we had an amazing relationship, mm-hmm. Then if I said, you are allowed to come here, and now you come, you stay. Day 1 was great. It felt like when we first dated. Day 2 was like, oh, okay. Day 3, now we're on day 40, and it's like, oh, he don't really talk to me as much. I wish we spent more time together. I don't know how I feel, which is valid. Mm-hmm. But you wanted the outcome. Yeah. I changed the law. Now you're here. But you thought I can get the law and the outcome. That's not how it works. Yeah. The only way you're going to get the outcome is if you fight for the outcome. So the thing is, when you think about someone like being liked, you didn't want me to change the law. Like, the thing is, you wanted, like, let's say, gay marriage. You wanted gay marriage. It's fine. Mm-hmm. You wanted me to accept it. You can't force that on somebody. Yeah. You can't. You can legally get, not being funny, I don't know why anybody wants to legally get married. Yeah. But you can legally get married, gaily, or, and now you just want the outcome to change. Whereas if you never fought to get legally married, mm-hmm. and yet the world changed the perception, like, man, we love gays getting married, man. You would have been fine. You would have been fine. Yep. You would have never went for that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so in this sense, in this is modern day and age, we're like, oh, men and women should be equal. No, we're not. We are not equal.
You weren't created to be equal.
Nah. You were not. Listen, let me tell you something. Go read your Bible. And we're going to cap this off because this episode is almost over. But let me tell you something. I'll be damned if a woman thinks she's equal to me because she thinks she's equal to me. The reason being is this. Women have lost the value of who they are. Mm-hmm. Everything that you impart in a woman, you teach her. If I teach my daughters the wrong information at this age, she's 6 now, right? We use, Allie for example. She's 6.
My Allie girl.
My Allie girl. I love that girl. I love you too, Ray. If we teach her from 6 to about 16, mm-hmm. the wrong information, she'll be fighting that from 16 to 36. Yeah. Because we imparted that in her. They've imparted stuff into our girls since they were kids. Yeah. They told you since they were kids, and now they're trying to fight that. Right? That 40-year-old lady who says, my parents who are married to this day told me you don't need a man. Both my mother and father said that. I went out here, she was all tatted up. I ruined my life because they told me that. And to this day, they're still married. It's imparted in us. Yeah. And when it is imparted in you, mm-hmm. you're gonna do what you already think. You talked about mindset. Mm-hmm. So when the time comes to change your mindset, you're going to go against every person that's ever come against you. Mm-hmm. And because even the Bible, you said read your Bible, that's what I want to touch up on. Because the Bible says X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. I didn't ask about your feelings. I didn't ask about this, but I said this. This is the principle.
Period.
Now you don't like the Bible. And now in today's day and age, we don't like God either.
Yeah.
Because of what he said. And even though what he said is to protect us, we live life of comfort. And it's all comfort. How fast can I get my food? If I don't get my food in 15 seconds in the drive-thru, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
If you don't answer my text message in an hour, I'm going to be pissed. If you're like, you know what I'm saying? We're all guilty of it. But it's convenience.
Yeah.
And as long as we don't have somebody who answers to our convenience, we think they're going against us. And that's why so many people are going against God and just doing whatever they want to do. So now, in this day and age, I'm going to wrap up, and I want you to have the final thoughts. In this day and age, with women being hard, they're doing it because they think they have to. Men being soft, they're doing it because they're comfort. They're chasing comfort. But I will be damned if a woman thinks that she can be on the same playing field as me, when in many circumstances, there's going to be times where a man is going to be better than a woman, and a woman is going to be better than a man. And I'll give you a prime example. Men go out and fight wars so this country can be great. On one side of the perspective, you're like, man, I'm over here fighting this war. This kind of sucks, but I know it's going to be for the greater good of my family. On the other end of the perspective, my man gets to go away and he on his little vacation over there shooting people in the face and all this other stuff.
His little vacation, though.
You get what I'm saying?
Crazy.
There's always two perspectives. And now on the flip side of that, it's like if the healthy woman says he's out there doing stuff, he's out there fighting, he comes back. Now, think about something like Titanic. The woman was in a lesser place because he was over there. But what his mission was to fight in the war, he's in the lesser place. She's in the greater place. I'm in danger, you're not. In her perspective, you're greater because you're strong enough to do it, but I'm not. So it's a mix of perspectives. And then going back again with the Titanic, what did they say first when that ship was sinking? Who was getting on those boats?
Women and children.
Women and children only! Women and children only! So you have a man who fought his entire life, not to just be a man, but figuring out life, to build a successful life for you. And you get to go on and live while I die in this ice cold river. And not only that, I tucked you and the children in and accepted it because I love you, and this is what God made me for, was to be sacrificial. Why would you not want to be a man or a woman? Everybody has the benefit if you play the role of the sex that God is giving you. And I'm done.
You know what? I credit my mom so much for how I am. If it wasn't for her and the things that she instilled in me about being a woman, we wouldn't be together, because I would be another one of those hard women. And even though my mom went through hurt, she went through pain, she went through all of these things, and she had her thoughts about men at one point. She had her sentiments about certain things, but it was never to a point of being toxic. It was never to a point of, oh, you don't need a man. It was a, be careful, watch out for yourself, make sure you're in a position of, if something goes wrong, you can take care of yourself. Those are healthy-minded thoughts. They're not toxic. My mother taught me to be submissive by not only telling me, but also showing me through her relationship with my dad. We have to do better in raising these kids. We're doomed. We're absolutely doomed if we don't do better. So, I don't know.
I agree. They said the children are our future, but what future are you building?
Exactly.
Us millennials, that's what we're here for, teaching you guys, teaching millennials. Guys, we got to do better because our children are up next. And if you have nothing to give, if you want to say, I love you, I appreciate you, I cherish you. Your child says, I want 10 oranges, but you only got 5. You can't give them what you don't have. You can't. And so that's our job, man. We want to make sure that you guys understand that love is what you give to yourself. If you don't give it to yourself, you can't expect anybody to give it to you. They're going to treat you how you want to be treated. And unbeknownst to you, how you want to be treated is the exact ignorance of how you feel about yourself. All right? Ignorance is the ignorance that shows.
That's what.
All right. We love y'all. And tell the people where they can find you.
I am your vet, Renee, on all of my social medias. That's YRVETT.
And I'm going to steal that. I am Don J on all of my social media, probably except Twitter. DAHNJAY. I promise if you search that, there's no other Don J that I know of as of yet. That's why I chose it. But man, luminoushorizon.org, you can go there. And also you can watch these episodes, luminoushorizon.org/redemption hospital, where you can find this, podcast anywhere. But reach out to us the next season. So season 1, we're going up about 14, 15 episodes or so. Just about. Season 2, we're accepting listener letters, all that stuff. And it's going to be epic. We're here to help change your mindset, guys. It really starts with you. And I'm going to cap this thing out with a prayer, man. As always, cap this out with prayer. Father, we come to you and we thank you for the many lives who are listening, God. We thank you for the people who want to change their lifestyle. God, we thank you for the perfection that you've created when you've created a man and woman. You've created Eve out of Adam because you know he needed help. You've created Adam because you know we needed to build things. God, it's not taken away from the people and the things that we have going on today and the women who can succeed, the men who can succeed. But we pray that people understand what we're trying to say and understand our vision and getting back to where you want to be, because any time that we take away from where you need us to be, it does cause us to lead to an abominating lifestyle. God, we ask that you heal and rectify our hearts from the pain that we have that make us take and make these choices that we have. We ask that we shed light on limited perceptions, and we ask that people go out and sow seeds, that we help people go out and sow seeds of love and kindness. And God, people who even heard this message and thought of it to be in an angry way, God, we ask that you heal their hearts and understand that what we're saying is just a truth, that they're not angry with us, they're not mad with us, but they're angry with some type of information that may be true in their life. God, we ask that we continue to bless the people, and we ask that the people continue to bless themselves with knowledge, that they lead themselves to another area of life or another podcast or another person or a pastor or a church who can help them, a therapist who can help them get to where they need to be so that they no longer have to live in the area and the spaces that they're living within their hearts. God, we want longevity for the life. We want them to live longer, and we know stress is the number one cause of living a shorter life. So God, we ask that this redeems people of the hurt that they heal or the hurt that they feel in themselves.